with ThorialTheLich playing Unsighted. And, well, let's not waste any more time. Why don't you let us know what we're in for?
Well, welcome back, everybody. I am here at least trying to redeem myself after last year's run. Doing some more Unsighted. Yet again, we're going to be doing this with reverse boss order. So let's just get right into it. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright. So unlike last time, I'm actually going to grab this syringe over here just for a little bit of safety health. Whoop. Take that, get some speed, and away we go. So, incidentally, you don't actually need to go and figure out what the code is to be able to go through here. This game, this one code never changes. It's always just 1995. And on the bright side, too, I just completely skipped getting a weapon in there. I have no sword, nothing. So, the little fairy here is nice and gives me a war axe. So at least now I have something to defend myself with. I'm going to kill a couple of these enemies around here. Whoop. Because I'm going to need some crafting materials nice and early on. And you'll understand pretty quickly why. So we're going to go over here and quickly just grab this chip as well. A little bit of extra stamina right off the bat. That with some extra strength, I'll take that. Real nice, thank you. And then we're going to go back over here. So normally what I do is actually just go towards the, forced encounter boss fight and die. But I'm not going to do that, both the dying part and going directly to the forced encounter, because, well, why do what the game wants us to when we can sequence break, right? Oop, that was a little too, thank you. A little hard to do that jump without the, high jump boots, but we'll rectify that here momentarily. Oh, I whiffed that. There we go. Ooh. That's, a tad concerning. My timing was off there. That's fine. Alright. So, yeah, you're not actually supposed to be defeating this boss before you've done the tutorial, but we're just gonna... Why do what the game wants us to? Be careful. No. Oh. Because I'm not on my own Steam profile, I'm apparently getting achievements for somebody else here. So, just gonna quickly do a little save warp because it's faster than running all the way back to the terminal. And wall jumping has its nice little upsides, the fact that you can just jump over those blocks being kind of one of the big ones. And, yeah, here's a, one of those wonderful intended boss fights where you're supposed to take a death. Or, yeah, nah. Why do that when we cannot? The upside to doing that is you get some extra little corrupted fragments from those shadow creatures, and you get a free flame blade, which is going to come in handy a little bit later on. Now, probably a little bit sooner rather than later, but still. This is basically going to be my best friend the whole game, because I need her for, well, mostly. So, one of the nice things about this game is there is a New Game Plus mode called New Game Extra, where you start with nothing, but you have crafting recipes for basically all your major progression. Which, you don't need the crafting recipes, those are optional. You just need to know the actual patterns, and you can get all of your major progression by, just crafting it like this. So we are going to grab 3 things of meteor dust, and the main reason for that is this game, as you saw earlier, allows us to collect chips, and those chips are basically my primary sources of stamina damage and, you know, everything else. So, one of them just so happens to be available right here. So I'm going to mash through a couple of text boxes and just give my 3 meteor dust over to this nice little robot here. And we're going to take this Parry Master chip, which incidentally increases the damage we do when we parry off of an enemy. Or I guess when we counter after getting a perfect parry. And I'm taking this. This is kind of an ill-advised idea, but it's something I've worked into my routing for this reverse boss order. Which, just in case anybody's wondering, yeah, no, there's not really a RBO route for this game. This is something that I came up with because I'm like, hey, you could do this. This sounds fun. And I've even changed my routing a little bit recently. So I'm just gonna go and quickly swap these. Excuse me, thank you. Bye-bye, nerd. Normally I would have gone up there and made my way over to the right to get an extra chip and activate a terminal for later. But I'm going to skip doing that now because I found out it's actually a little bit quicker to do that in just a minute here. So once you activate a terminal, you can teleport to them from other terminals later on. And that's kind of why I'd be going there. That's why I'm hitting this one again. Is so that I've got that one accessible. Because I want to come up here right now. And this place looks familiar. And I'm going to take a quick little detour over here. Yeah. Hey, pal. You're still ugly. Right now I want that extra little bit of cash off of that. So we're gonna go in here and quickly get the weapon that I'm gonna use for basically the rest of this game. Oh. There, Raquel's axe. This is gonna be my go-to weapon for quite a while now. But we are going to continue on my little detour over this way quickly. Which, unfortunately, does have this little fight, but... Oh. That was terrible. There, get out of here. I actually got through that room pretty clean. Those enemies can really get in my way and knock me around as I'm trying to spin, and I'm glad they didn't. Give me that. Thank you. Alright. So normally, in a typical any percent run, you would take something called the risk chip. What that does is it gives you an extra 20% damage when you're at low health. The problem is you normally get that risk chip after fighting what is, in sequence, the third boss, before you go after 4 and 5. I kind of want that extra 20% damage for 4 and 5. Thus, I'm taking that power chip, which makes it so that I do that extra 20% damage when I'm at full health. Because that's kind of the most convenient way to get that damage bonus for me. Thanks, jerk. There we go. There's going to be a couple moments throughout the game where I have to go and craft some extra items, but... Alright. Yeah, you can just use that little wall jump into a jump slash to get over that fence. You can use that to get over a lot of stuff, which we will be doing more of later on. Alright. Oh. I would say that's never happened before, but that would be a lie. I was kind of nervous about doing this telehook in practice, because it's been one that's been giving me grief recently. Yeah, good enough. Ported me into the next room, but it's, gets me past the flame barriers, which is the big obstacle there. as far as I'm aware, what a telehook is doing is it's teleporting your hook shot into a different position, and subsequently you latch onto something and follow it. But I honestly can't confirm that's exactly what's going on. We're gonna get those guys out of here. So between that telehook and what I'm going to be, a trick I'm going to be doing here known as a weird hook, I'm basically just going to skip the entirety of this factory. There we go. Normally what you're actually supposed to do is go and get these mech arms for this Haley unit, which allow you to push heavy blocks, but that takes time, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to waste the time. So instead, we're just going to go over here, get some cannons, because that's all we need. And we're going to quickly just jump in here and say hi to Nova, who is, you know, our first boss, except for he's not our first boss. It's not supposed to be. Normally this is where I'd be going last. Also, this thing's not happy to see me. That has nothing to do with me going out of logic here. That's entirely just the fact that it's angry. Yeah, that was only the first phase. Of course this thing has multiple. Bye-bye. There's a reason why we got the Parry Master chip early on, because, yeah, it just demolishes everything. And we're just not going to see any of the story here. Don't worry about it. So, thankfully, it turns out there's a nice convenient little path over here. That kind of just goes directly from boss number 5 right up to boss number 4. After this, I am going to be taking a quick stop back at Gear Village. Do a little bit more purchasing, get rid of that greed chip, and put on some of the other equips that I actually want. Oh, that was not intended. Oh well, not a major time loss. Yeah, we're just gonna shake off a plane crash. It's alright. Ah. There we go. Right. And I do need to do a quick bit more crafting. So the reason I set up that terminal here earlier on was so that I could just quickly work back here. It's kind of convenient, but that allows me to just skip right over here to the aquarium entrance, which is where we're going to find our third boss. And the whole aquarium actually is supposed to have like this kind of cool puzzle where you go and find all the, like, the code to enter the boss room. Yeah. It never changes, so it's always just 132564. And if you can remember that, you can just go through here without actually having to do the whole of the aquarium. Here's our one boss that stays at the same spot no matter what. Oop. I just decided I need to go for a bath. Don't worry about it. these pathways can be very confusing and difficult to remember. And once you get bounced into a wall, you just kind of get stuck for a minute no matter what. Yep. That was rude. I know I can completely avoid that encounter, but I'm just not sure what does it here. I've spent the entire time that I was practicing, every time I got to that point, trying to figure out what the ability to get through that encounter, like that area without fighting those enemies is, and I actually don't know. Alright, so coming up here is going to be our second telehook of the run, which we're just going to use to skip the entirety of the museum. Yeah, you're not summoning your friend. You don't need friends. Alright. Now we can just go conveniently right back here to Gear Village. Ow. Nice, convenient paths, just going all the way over here. Yet again, we're just going to skip across the water because, honestly, it seems to be the most effective method of travel a lot of the time. Oh, until I go and knock myself back into the water. Yeah, bye-bye. I don't need to fight you guys. See ya. now we're just going right down here to our first boss. You know, ignore the fact that I already fought the other 4. Gonna go ahead and get rid of that cog, because there's no point in keeping one with only 1 usage left on it. Ah! That's what I mean when I say you can just get really bounced around in there. So we're gonna go right on back to Gear Village. Because now we can make the actual, you know, meteor weapon that we were going to be getting. The whole reason we were going to get the MacGuffins. Yeah, don't worry. It's still a meteor weapon, corrupted or not. It also hits like an absolute freight train. That's why we went for the axe. So we're gonna go and take a quick stop and say hi to a friend along the way. Don't worry that she looks completely menacing as carrying a scythe. It doesn't mean anything. She's a friend, I promise. Yeah, probably best that you don't stick around, Iris. And we're gonna sacrifice somebody to get more time. We're gonna try and sacrifice her. It makes her mad. But she's also really easy to defeat. No, I did not want to fall there. Okay, so unfortunately, coming in here right away, the first thing I have to do are 2 more telehooks. There we go. Okay, that second one is much easier. See ya. We don't need anything from that at this point. We could just cruise right on by. Alright, that's the whole crater tower done. Time to go and save my robot girlfriend. I love the corrupted music here. Alright, now it's just off to go and fight Anima Essence. That was rude. And because I went and killed the, scythe-wielding robot of Doom, she has a little gift for me coming up here. But first, save or kill the animals. That might be optional. But I'm not a complete monster. I'm not going to leave my robot girlfriend to die. She gets saved. And time.
Redeemed!
22, was that 22:30 in game? That's not bad.
Nice.
So we're just gonna go ahead and skip through the cutscenes, but yeah, thank you to everybody who's definitely come to watch this one. I'm really glad to have redeemed myself from last Slurpathon, because, yeah.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Good job.
All right. Thank you, Thorial. That was a hell of a run. But don't go away, anyone. We still have one more run for the night, and that is Dudney with the casting of Frank Stone. Be fun. Good old horror movie to play us out for day one of Slurpathon 12. Reminder that we are making raising funds for the Children's Miracle Network hospitals via Extra Life, and so !donate to get your donations in, and we'll see you real soon for the casting of Frank Stone.